Good morning, dear listeners. Today we come to a new episode of the podcast series of the No Age Ontology and the Seven Laws of Reality. These podcast series are mainly based on my two books with the same titles. And today we are going to introduce the method of prayer related to the laws of reality. So, to understand this topic, one needs to already have some kind of knowledge about what we spoke about in the previous chapters of the podcast, about the law of cause and effect, the law of vibration, the law of correspondence. But in any case, you can find all these podcasts in the series. We already spoken about the fact that everything happens according to precise laws. So we have a question: what's the reason for praying God, the deities, enlightened beings, etc.? Is there a reason? Yes, there is. And in fact, the method of prayer is one of the most powerful and skillful methods, especially when nothing else works. When we do our visualization, when we do our statements, when whatever, it just nothing works, we have the method of prayer. And this is a very profound method. And now we're going to explain why it works according to the laws of reality. So it's not just faith. Yeah, faith and confidence is a very important factor. But this faith and confidence triggers some precise laws. So the mind of pure being, the source, does not change its modus operandi, let's say, in order to comply to one's request. And it does not make any exception. But it functions through well-defined laws, and these laws can be placed into operation consciously or unconsciously, by accident or design, and especially by the method of prayer. So it is the operation of these laws which have caused humans in all ages and in previous times to believe that there must be a personal being like God or beings who responded to their petitions and manipulated events in order to meet their demands. In some cases this is partly true, and we will see why, but it's not all the truth behind it. So in reality, when one employs the method of prayer in order to change one's circumstances, events, etc., the various deities or the God in which one believes, or the awakened beings, they become like catalysts of the all-pervading power intrinsic to oneself as indivisible from the all-pervading mind, and therefore one is able to achieve somewhat, partly achieve one's aims in harmony with the seven principles of reality. So we have already seen how the word God or enlightened being means the totality of all events and meanings, which can take any form of a seemingly external, illusory being, but in real sense is not a separate entity. And to understand this, one needs to listen to all the previous podcasts about the principle of mind. Without a thorough understanding of this principle, maybe the following information will not make much sense. But in any case, there are four important factors involved in the method of prayers. So the first factor is that although whatever happens in our lives manifests according to laws set in motion by ourselves, like the law of cause and effect, the law of vibration, by praying with faith, earnestly, with confidence in the result, we assume the mental attitude of confident expectation, and which is the most important factor in attaining the desired effect. So Christ said, "Whatsoever things you ask for when you pray, believe that you receive them and you shall have them." So the present tense in this sentence wants us to have absolute confidence that our prayers will be answered in our best interest, and then we should feel as if we had already received what we have asked for as a prerequisite for receiving it. So this is the role of confidence and faith and expecting the result. The second important factor is that by asking through prayer earnestly and expecting faithfully, we unconsciously develop the mental image in our mind of the condition desired, and therefore we're able to set in motion a primary relative first cause, which through the law of vibration will materialize our ideals somewhat, in some way. And faithful prayer is one of the most powerful forms for setting in motion primary causes. So this is related to the method of creative visualization combined with the power of prayer. The third important fact is that by praying to what we regard holy object, we unconsciously develop the qualities associated with the concepts that we have of that object. For example, if we pray to Christ, God, or a Buddha with the belief that they are the embodiment of love, health, prosperity, wisdom, compassion, automatically we develop these qualities, which, as we have seen, are the natural and spontaneous qualities of the mind of pure being. So these beings like Christ, God, Buddha, etc., or awakened beings are basically the sort of the symbols and the symbols of compassion, love, wisdom, and so we naturally develop these qualities in ourselves, because the state of pure, the mind of pure being is naturally, spontaneously adorned with these symbols of love and compassion and wisdom. All the qualities are spontaneously present in the mind of pure being. So we place ourselves in an harmonious position in regard to the attainment of more love, health, prosperity, wisdom, compassion, and all our desired are eventually fulfilled. Now, eventually, because everything depends on causes and conditions may not manifest in exactly in that moment. There is a lot of all of this is related to the grasping at the self-identity and time. So the more grasping there is in our sort of stream of consciousness to the sense of time, and the more we are bound to causes and conditions. And this is a very important point, because sometimes we feel that our desires are not fulfilled, and that is because our desires are based on self-grasping, and this self-grasping creates a very tight grasping to the concept of time. So anyway, the last very important factor is that all sentient beings in the infinite universes are not separate from one another, but they are individually integrated as the totality of the mind of pure being. So therefore we can understand that on a subtle level will all affect one another according to the interdependence of law of causes and conditions. And this I remind you to the previous podcast about interdependence, causes and conditions. And because of this, through prayer one can receive help from deities or enlightened beings or God interdependently, or in a way that doesn't contradict the causes that one has set in motion through the law of cause and effect and the law of vibration. So in a nutshell, basically we cannot pray for something and at the same time set in motion causes for the opposite. It just doesn't work. We have to set in motion causes which are in harmony with what we pray for and the object of our prayers. So an example is like these objects of our prayers, Christ, God, Buddha, or awakened beings could and would help us getting what we ask for: health, love, compassion, prosperity, a better life condition. But this would happen interdependently with the causes of, for example, generosity, empathy, love that we have set in motion, at least at the level of mind, which is the law of cause and effect, and our confidence in the desired result, which is the law of vibration. And it would be impossible to receive help for enlightened beings if we're setting in motion causes in opposition to what we're asking for, because we place ourselves in the opposite vibration to our fulfilled desire. So this is just a very brief introduction. There's much more information in the book, especially 7 laws of reality and being, and we will maybe come back to this in future podcasts. Thank you for listening.